Hey everybody, welcome to Trending. Today is Thursday, February 3rd. It's about 9:30, or I guess it's 10 o'clock today. Getting a little bit of a late start. It's cold.
It is, man.
It's cold in the world, but it's like cold in this room.
That's right.
And it's just how the world goes this week.
That's right, man.
But
it's like how many millions of Americans are like under like a threat of a winter storm? I mean, it's ridiculous.
yes.
So we're all feeling it, no matter, well, most people are.
Yes, right. I was watching back one of our shows. I realized sometimes we need to like actually introduce ourselves and say what we're doing.
Okay.
Sometimes we just jump in and I'm like, I wonder if people actually know what this whole thing's all about. So
That's right.
I'm Matt. This is Joe.
Hi.
And we take to the day's top trending topics and we try to talk about them from like a faith perspective whenever it's applicable. Yes. So that's what we're going to do today. We were kind of joking beforehand. There's not a whole lot going on today. I had to kind of scrape the bottom and just found some random things for us to talk about. But I think we got some fun things that we can work our way through.
All right, man. All right, let's do it.
With that long intro, speaking about it being cold, one trending topic this morning. So Groundhog Day was a couple days ago.
That's right.
Okay, do you follow that whole thing? Like, do you understand what this whole...
No.
What do you know about Groundhog Day?
Well, I mean, I don't know about it totally, but I just feel like if time endures and people study our culture,
yeah,
they're going to go, wait, you had Google and you still did this Groundhog Day thing?
Right. Yeah, like modern science, and you trust this ground rodent to tell you what's happening with the weather. So, okay, there's a couple things about Groundhog Day which I thought were just interesting. Okay. So, I think I'd heard this, but I'd forgotten that there's more than one groundhog.
That's right. There's one like in New Jersey.
There's a New Jersey one, and then the Punxsutawney Phil or whatever is kind of the famous one. But so one kind of, sad but kind of funny story. So the day before Groundhog Day, one of them died.
Oh wow!
And so I think the groundhog's name was Millie. I think this is the New Jersey one.
Okay.
The day before Groundhog Day, I don't even know if it's a boy or girl. Millie, I don't know. Passed away. So they kind of scrambled. Like, what do we do? And then I guess most groundhogs hibernate. So like it's pretty rare for a groundhog to just be around in February. So I think they figured it out and it all worked out.
They had to go hunt for one.
The irony of the one day where this guy's getting national attention and he unfortunately passed away.
Man.
So, but he did see his shadow, I guess. So I guess that means it's gonna be cold, which it's cold. So
right, but like one said it was like spring was gonna be early. I think that was the Staten Island one or whatever, and then Punxsutawney Phil said, no, he did see a shadow, which always seemed backwards to me. It's like, I think if you see your shadow, it's got to be sunny. Sun equals heat, logically in my mind. So I feel like they went the other way on that.
I think what we're learning is no one really knows
That's right.
how this whole thing works. But kind of just a random side story, but I saw that the movie Groundhog Day is also trending today because a lot of people were, obviously they want to watch it because of the holiday, but a lot of people also said they felt like they experienced Groundhog Day the past few years with pandemic and stuff. So Bill Murray had a quote about like, if you find yourself in that situation, instead of dwelling on the negative end of it, find something good to do. If you're running through the same routine every day, take that time to learn a new hobby or learn a new skill. So he was kind of trying to put a positive spin on that whole Groundhog Day thing. But
that's a great Bill Murray movie.
Yes, it is.
Like when I think of Bill Murray, like some people think of Ghostbusters or whatever, but I think of Groundhog Day.
Phil Connors! Ned!
Yes.
I mean, it's just the one that
it's
comes
a great
to mind.
one.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so rest in peace to I think Millie the Groundhog and Punxsutawney.
Yes.
I wish I don't know. Who knows? This crazy tradition. I just can't, I don't even know what to say about it.
That's
it's just crazy.
We can move on.
Okay. So another holiday-related trend this morning. Okay. So the Lunar New Year was trending this morning. Okay. So that started on February 1st, I believe.
All right.
So one reason why it's trending this morning is obviously it happened a couple days ago. I think there's a bill currently in the Senate, I believe, that's aiming to possibly make this a federal holiday.
Okay.
Kind of just recognizing that America has more and more Asian American immigrants and families, and so they kind of want to recognize that trend by making this an official holiday. So I think that's kind of a cool thing.
Yes.
It's the year of the tiger, I guess, which I don't really know much about like the lunar, that whole thing, but it's based on the moon instead of the sun, and so it changes every year. This year, the Lunar New Year was on February 1st. So yeah, it's trending. I think it's trending because of the whole national holiday implications.
Yeah, okay,
so,
well, that could be cool.
Yeah.
It'd be like written on like the box on the calendar, right? And
yes.
It's another thing you have to look up and say, what's this all about?
Right.
Know? And it'd be cool to kind of do a deep dive on it.
Yes.
Get familiar with it. So very cool.
Okay, Lunar New Year.
All right.
Okay, let's talk about Facebook real quick. Facebook or Meta is trending again this morning. They're always in the news, it seems like, but they're trending because they had a horrible stock week. Their stock is just like plummeting.
Okay.
I think it's their last quarter's earnings or whatever weren't as high as they projected, so people are freaking out, saying, It's the end of Facebook. I think delete Facebook, #delete Facebook is trending on Twitter this morning. People love to hate on Facebook, so if there's any opportunity to do that, that just kind of seems to blow up the internet.
That's right.
So, whenever this comes up, what's your relationship with Facebook specifically, or the Facebook family? There's always this, Zuckerberg's evil, he's got too much power, we need to get off of there. Like, where do you land on that whole thing?
I mean, I think so. I think Facebook is fine. I think people use it for probably its more noble intent, which is to connect people together. Yeah. I do think people use it for misinformation, spreading misinformation. People troll one another. That's obviously not good practice.
Yeah.
Does Facebook have a lot of power? It sure does. And when you start using Facebook for your other logins, it's kind of hard to back off the limb and say, well, I'm going to quit Facebook. Well, then how do you log into all the other stuff?
Right.
I kind of ran into that. I kind of got a little irritable with it, so I tried to get off Facebook, mainly because I just didn't want to check it anymore and stuff. So what I've done recently is I've taken the push notification off my phone.
Yep.
I get into Facebook. I post my Wordle.
Yep.
Which I missed it today.
We'll come back to that.
It was a hairball today. Yeah.
We'll come back to it.
And then I kind of check in a little bit, but I mean nothing too. I think whenever Instagram came out, I feel like Instagram was a whole lot better than Facebook.
Yeah.
We're just posting pictures.
Yeah.
That seems to be a little bit more my vibe than posting articles, getting into back and forths and checking it several times a day. It just seemed like a big waste of time.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that I can connect with family and friends. I did this thing where I pretty much unfollow everybody. It's like we're friends, but I just kind of unfollow.
Yep.
And then what I keep live are pretty much immediate family, a few friends, and then Ridgepoint folks.
Yep.
So through our job, being on church staff, we can kind of see what's going on in people's lives. But a lot of other folks, it's just way too much.
Yeah.
And so I pare it back.
Yep.
So there can be more simplistic. So I don't know. What about you?
Yeah. Most of these things, I feel like they're morally neutral. Like we've talked about this before. It just depends how you use it, how... The unfollow feature, I think, is highly underrated.
Yes.
I've unfollowed a lot of people, and that's been very healthy for me. So if you are stressed out by Facebook, maybe just unfollow some people.
That's right.
That might be a good way to start.
It's really easy to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of they're just an easy target, and I don't know. I think it gets blown out of proportion sometimes, but and we're broadcasting on Facebook right now, so we probably can't say anything too negative.
Hashtag irony.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Okay, we got two kind of sports stories.
All right.
But we'll go quickly. They're not really too heavy in the sports. But Hugh Jackson is trending this morning. Not Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackson.
Okay.
Do you remember he was the coach of the Browns? He got fired, but he was the coach of the Browns.
Yes.
So there's this conspiracy looming. Not really a conspiracy, but some people are saying that the Browns paid him to lose games to get better draft picks. Are you following that story?
Well, in light of the Brian Flores accusation, class action suit against NFL, he claims that the Miami Dolphins owner was going to pay him up to $100,000 a game to tank so they could get a better draft pick. So maybe there's something there. I hope that's not common practice.
Yeah,
I just find a hard time anybody getting on that program because these guys have climbed the ladder. They're elite athletes. It's hard to say, hey, for the future of our franchise, I want you to tank as much as possible. It doesn't seem to be, I think, in their DNA to do something like that. So it'd be an unfortunate thing if that sort of a setup was there.
Yeah. It would be. And we live in this world of conspiracies, right? And I just get so tired of it. Like when the Chiefs lost, of course my heart was broken. But immediately I started seeing things like, the game was fixed and this player should have done that. And of course they would have done this if they were really playing. And I'm with you. These people are professional competitors.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like that gets a little bit too conspiracy for my taste. But
conspiracy's a convenient thing, right? So when your team loses, it's hard to settle on the fact that you could be on the losing end of something.
Yes.
And so we do what psychologists call kaleidoscoping. We say, no, there's got to be something else going on here, right? And so how can we say it was fixed, right? So people say, well, referees are making calls in order to make the game go a certain way. But there weren't a lot of penalties in the Chiefs game. So is it because they're not making calls?
Yeah.
Is that how they're fixing the game? The more and more people talk, the more we twist the kaleidoscope, the less likely this stuff really is. And just life is just tough.
Yeah, exactly. And we've talked about this so many times on here, but life is complicated also.
Yeah, that's right.
And I just don't want to spend my time going down those rabbit trails. There's better things to do with our time.
That's right. Yes, with your one and only
life, to quote our friend Pastor Brand.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, I've got 2 quick ones to kind of finish up here today. You mentioned Wordle. Wordle's trending because a lot of people are struggling today.
Yeah.
You and I both did not get it. I also did not get it today.
I know.
It was a tough one.
It was.
And we need to be a little bit careful because, my wife Tilly plays and she loves Wordle. She gets aggravated when people give too many spoilers. So we won't.
Okay.
We'll
No spoilers.
Spoiler-free
Yes.
review of Wordle today. But it was a hard one, and it was one. This is true every day. But it could have been a bunch of words. So depending on how you rearrange certain things.
Right.
Like I was very close, but just got bad luck. So anyway, Wordle is up even a little bit higher than usual today because people are struggling. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hard word, and I think we're not going to get it every day.
Right.
Right? And the people who are angry that they should get it every day,
yeah.
I find it ironic because aren't they the same ones complaining about participation trophies? It's like, I mean, come on. Like,
True.
We're not going to get 100% of the time.
Yes.
There's a lot of words in the English dictionary.
English is big, yes.
So we're going to miss it. And so, yes, I got fixed, and I could not. I got to the end, I'm like, it could be 5 or 6 options just in my mind here.
Yep.
And so I went with one, and I missed it.
Yep.
And I went ahead and posted it anyways.
So did I. We both
Because
did.
as Luther said, Martin Luther,
okay,
Christian reformer, said,
yep,
when you sin boldly. Like, go ahead and own it. Just
okay,
go ahead and be like, you know what, I missed it today. I'm not going to blame anything. I'm not going to, ghost posting my failed Wordle. Just gonna put it out there. Bring on the hate. That's fine. Tomorrow's going to be a new word.
That's right. And, this is kind of a tangent, but we talk about social media. So one of the flags that all the social media channels get is that people just post their highlights, right? They only post the beautiful sunset pictures. They don't post all the other ones. So if we're going to post our victorious, solve it in 2 tries Wordles, we got to also post our didn't make it Wordles. So
that's right.
Anyway, go give it a shot today if you haven't done it yet.
Let's do it.
Post in the group. Let us know how you did.
Yes.
And if you didn't get it today, you're in good company. It's going to be okay.
That's right.
And there's no conspiracy.
Not just us.
This isn't the New York Times.
That's right. Oh, there we go.
Here we go. Let's start the rumors. It started here.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Okay, one more I want to really get your take on, and we'll kind of wrap things up here today. So the Olympics are trending.
Yeah.
I think that it's kind of a weird deal. The opening ceremonies are on Friday, but some of the events start today.
And kind of some have already happened, too. Yeah. Like they had, I think, some curling.
Yes, and hockey. I think there's a little bit of hockey.
Hockey's tonight. Yeah.
Oh, hockey's tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand the order of things.
Yeah.
So the Olympics are always a big deal. I enjoy the Olympics. I don't watch all the time, but I'll definitely have it on in the background, and we'll have it on throughout the next few weeks. One of the big issues this time around is that it's in China. Obviously, some people are not very excited about that for all their human rights violations and all that kind of stuff. So I've seen a lot of people say they're boycotting the Olympics. I've seen something like pray-cot. Instead of watching the Olympics, they're going to pray for resolution for all this stuff. So there's just a lot of feelings about China hosting the Olympics. I was thinking, last year we had the Olympics, kind of a weird shuffle of things. In Russia's not a great country either. They have their own set of problems.
Right.
We have hosted before, and we have our own set of problems.
Right.
So where do you land on that whole thing about China? Should we be boycotting, or just how are you feeling about kind of that part of the Olympics?
I guess I always find it interesting, and I think this has been recently, how the Olympics kind of land in the middle of like a geopolitical thing, and then countries have to decide what they're going to do.
Right.
I just feel for the athletes. I mean, here they are. Like, they've been training. This is their open window to compete. And now they have this interesting pressure of whether they should go or not. And so I think sport could potentially bring us together, like a softer side of humanity where we compete. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it's a relatively on the up-and-up competition where there's not, I don't know, like state-sanctioned doping of athletes and stuff, but like athletes coming together, most of them are amateurs. I mean, they're working at Home Depot part-time and like training the other part of their life. I just think it's a neat expression of humanity. Mm-hmm. I think it could bring empathy and sympathy towards one another. It's just unfortunate when now we have to have this extra layer of interference. Yep. And so I think that we should go. I think we should compete. Mm-hmm. And I think that we should find a way to reason together instead of shout past one another as we normally do in now international discourse. And so, I think they should go and compete. I don't think that says anything about how we are condoning human rights violations in certain part of the world. Obviously, that country who hosts, they get a great economic bump by hosting the games, but it sounds like there's not a lot of spectators in China, but we still get to kind of watch it and cheer on from home. I know that like NHL, the pro athletes for hockey, like they can't go because they have to quarantine afterwards, and so they're refusing to go. So it brings interesting texture to some of the events. But nevertheless, I have sympathy for these athletes who want to go compete at the highest level. I think they should go and take their shot there, and they shouldn't be given any flack because of it.
It's tough because you don't want to reward countries who are doing horrible things. But like I said, like we also do horrible things. So like
That's right.
It's going to be pretty soon. We're not going to have any Olympics if we can't host them anywhere.
That's right.
So it's I don't know. That's one of my pet peeves.
If you pull the thread, it all unravels, right? And so it's interesting. Interesting tension there. I do think athletes are more than just competitors. The shut up and dribble thing drives me crazy. No, because they do have a platform. I think they can provide a perspective. However, like we shouldn't count on them to do way more than we're asking of them at the same time. It's an interesting tension there in my mind. Yeah.
And again, we've talked about this before, and I think you and I are similar in this, is that in the world that we live in where there's so much tension, so much division, like I want to be the kind of person who focuses on the other side of things. Like you said, focus on the positive aspects of the world coming together for a few weeks. Focus on that instead of, you're always going to find something to drag down any good story. The world is heavy. I'm tired of all of it. So let's find something that unites us instead of tears us apart. So
absolutely.
Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
All right.
Okay, well, it's still cold. There's still a lot of snow outside.
It never warmed up.